GM fam, we are live with your host Felix Contreras, where we're going to talk about Ordinals, Solana, and Ethereum, Degods, Mad Lads, Degods, OpenAI, Bitmap. A lot of things happening with Bitmap and HGE.Sol's 22.2.Sol interest thread that he has going on. A lot of stuff going on, but let's get into it. Okay, let's start off with HGE.Sol and what's going on here. He said, do not send anything to 22.2.Sol. And when he said that, guess what happened? I mean, these people started sending stuff to him. Do not send anything. Boom. And then started happening. $250,000 were sent to this address. People not knowing why they sent it and what is to come, if there is anything to come. Then HGE.Sol says 36,000 people refuse to listen. So then he said, Snapchat at November 17th. There is nothing. Choose wisely. What the hell's going on? Then he said minus 3 hours. Then he says 383.6 SPL tokens, 2049 collections, 98 stubborn wallets. I repeat, do not send anything to 22.Sol. What is going on here? So he then puts out chapter 2, November 20. And what day is it? November 19th. So I don't know what's going on. And this guy says LMA off. So this is when they love HG. So next week he'll be the villain. So we'll find out how this plays out. I mean, for me, I did send something. I sent 0.05 Solana, which is basically not really much. So I'm gonna play with it, see where this goes. I do have to say, HGE.Sol, he's a funny guy. He sometimes does these little tricks here and there. So I mean, you just don't know what you're gonna get with him. One time I bought ABCs when they were at I think 1 Solana, and then he tweeted out saying that ABC is just art. And when he said that, then I kind of sold it at 2 Solana. And then things kind of exploded after that because I sold it at 2 Solana. I just didn't quite get it. But here he says, we have the biggest protocol owned liquidity on NFTs. Before NFTs bear hit us, we did 500 to 800 Solana profit daily. Now that some pool ranges are back, we can continue burning hates and distribute hates to Vayne hates pool. Only now hates is at sub 10, fully diluted. So he's talking about Hades. A lot of people are starting to get back in Hades. Hades, buy Underworld NFT emitting 4x Hades a day. Add Hades and Sol to Meteora pool for fees and stake LP tokens for 1,000 APY Hades. I mean, people are starting to get into this Hades thing. If you have an Underworld, you can stake it for Hades. Hades is like the background behind Hades Swap, where you can basically use like an AMM type of pool. So it's gonna be interesting as well. If you don't know, ABCs have moved to Ordinal, so we just don't know what type of instrument HG.Sol and his team are building, but I'm guessing it's gonna be something to do with Ordinals and Solana, maybe a little bit of Ethereum, but I mean we'll see where that plays out. All right, so in other news, we also have this guy talking about Hades. He says, I'm guessing the floor will rise as well, currently sitting at 2.49. New Hate Swap product dropping in soon, NFA. So this is one of them. Basically coming out. No one knows. This is an Ordinal guy, I think, right? So I just don't know where this is gonna go. This guy says 5 hours. HG.Sol posted a wallet address. The wallet since has over $1 million. We deserve the pair, this guy writes. So there you go. All right. Some updates on what's going on with Oogy. Justin wrote down, and as an ecosystem, we have to do a better job of building each other up instead of tearing each other down. He is basically saying the biggest disappointment is going to be the biggest comeback. We are basically observing Oogy at its lowest at 1.18 Solana. It's probably lower than that right now, but they have been the biggest mint, the latest biggest mint of this year, I would say. The latest. After that, there wasn't really any mints that were kind of big. And ever since, Oogy has just been kind of in a disappearance mode. But they have been doing some building in the background. They've been making a game. and we'll find out what else they're gonna bring out. And that's why they've been quiet. So we'll find out on where that goes with Justin and his team. Okay, so Disney, they have re-entered Web3 and they have came in cooking. Easy right here says, now, I don't know how familiar you are with Disney pins, but from a traditional collectible standpoint, they cook. Mickey Sorcerer pin. Pin value $11,225, which is this dragon with Mickey. What most don't realize is in order to get these pins, you have to trade with a staff member at the parks, which creates this circulating ecosystem amongst workers and attendees. So you got the traders, the pins, everyone on here. And then the secondary market is bananas. I made 3,000 in 2 months selling Disney pins, and here's how you can get two. So this is like a tangible NFT, I would say. These type of things are actually valuable in the real world. And then now they're basically going to make these digital using Dapper Labs. The ease of onboarding will most likely be seamless as NBA Top Shots. Really leaning into the collectability of it all and focusing on non-traditional market participants. So this is basically taking what is tangible, what is real, Disney pins are reals, and making the value more digitally where people can trade it online. So this is what's going on with Disney pins. And here's another post. Disney reveals new NFT project called Digital Pins. Disney has partnered with Dapper Labs and Flow to launch a new product called Disney Pinnacle, which allows fans to collect digital pins featuring their favorite Disney, Pixar, Star Wars character, according to Dapper Labs. So, you know, you can have Buzz Lightyear, you can have Woody, you can have different characters, and then here's a video of the pin that you can have. That is digital. It's a little bit different, from the real thing. So as we discussed before, people would go to parks and trade them. Now you can go online and trade these things. So anyway, this guy says, Sammy Mocha, do you think Simpsons NFT episode timing was a coincidence? Disney acquired 21st Century in 2019, which had the rights to Simpsons. Disney is launching an NFT collectible platform named Disney Pinnacle in collaboration with Dapper Labs. The platform is inspired by the physical pins sold at Disney theme parks. So Disney Pinnacle will feature digital pins based on characters and properties from Disney Pixar, Star Wars, including notable characters like Buzz Lightyear, which we talked about. Marvel, another Disney-owned IP, was not mentioned. So that's an interesting one. Disney is specifically designed for mobile use, and it's going to probably have a wait list. So this is all going to be buck wild when this thing comes out. If you remember NBA Top Shots, those things were selling like hotcakes back in the day. And that is basically what's happening in that world of actual huge brand, billion-dollar market cap companies and getting into NFTs in their own method and dabbing into this market. All right, so let's talk a little bit of what's going on with Ordinals. All right, so Ordinals right now, this guy says middle of the night, update 2 a.m. Wow, 71 USD for 260. At this rate, we will hit today Bitmaps. All right, so if you haven't heard of BITMAP, it's basically like the inscription world, right? It's a metaverse within Bitcoin. So this thing is going wild as well because you have different numbers in this inscription world. You have number 1, which is thousands of dollars, and then you got all the way to freaking 21 million. 1 to 10,000 is basically the gods of ownership, because that people say this is like the crypto punks of Ordinals. 1 to 10,000, right? And with that, I mean, I want to see if I can find some updates on what that actually means. So here we got this guy saying sub 10K are the crypto punks of Bitcoin Ordinals. The market opportunity is to base. So this guy saying Bitcoin, Bitmap, low inscription numbers are the ultimate Bitcoin. I don't make the rules. Are Node Monkeys not the crypto punks of Bitcoin Ordinals? Nope. It'll be a viable project though. But Node Monkeys is another one that a lot of people are talking about, which is going to be insane. But yeah, a lot of people are already referring this as the crypto punks of Bitcoin Ordinals. So just think about how this bitmap thing is playing out, but it's really fascinating to observe bitmap. We'll find another post here on how bitmap is actually doing, and then hopefully I can maybe find it towards the end here. All right, so bitmap, right here we have this guy throwing out a really good thread. Metaverse on Bitcoin blocks digital real estate. Let's dive into the .bitmap protocol. All right, so if a metaverse on Bitcoin ever happens, tying land plots to blocks is the simplest and coolest ideas. Blocks are scarce but incredibly increasing. The Bitcoin metaverse will evolve as long as the time chain operates. Spoiler alert means forever. By minting a .bitmap, you get an inscription which represents your land plot linked to the block number. Only numbers can be inscribed, no names or symbols. This is the ENS .sots games on steroids. So you basically can have, let's say, like if you remember that one game called Sandbox on Ethereum, you got this map and people are buying all this land on Sandbox, right? That thing was going nuts maybe 3 years ago. People were buying land like left and right. But this is different. This is actual inscription on the Bitcoin blockchain. So it's a metaverse for all of Bitcoin blockchain. So that is basically what he's discussing here. It's going to be your land, and whoever gets in early will get the value of this so-called metaverse land, right? So can't remember if it was Buddha or who said it. Somewhere for someone, every number carries or will carry significance. If by looking at a few inscribed 3D landscapes, avatars, 9.bitmap and 78.bitmap among the first occupied plots. If I were to look for CK Shark in the Bitcoin, I'd search there. Boom. So identification, right? This guy also said something about the gods. 776408.bitmap. This is the gods block. Also minted early. Frank the Gods is one of the crazy geniuses who instantly got Ordinal's theory, as I was there too. If .bitmap pan out, the gods headquarters will be right there. 776408.bitmap. What he's basically saying is that once this thing gets built out, right? Because they're still building it out. Once the actual there's going to be a point where there's going to be like a map where you can see the map of what you hold. There's going to be like a sandbox, right? There's going to be the gods headquarters on Bitcoin Ordinals. I personally think that's what's going to happen. I think that's what they're going to do because Frank the God's a huge Bitcoin bull. That's been his first blockchain. He's been always bullish on that, and he loves it as not just technology chain, but overall just everything about Bitcoin. So I think, and I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. And this is an early block. I mean, he got in there before everybody else got in there. So not just the NFT is valuable, but this bitmap is also valuable, both in value. So the more people get in Ordinals, the more value this right here will gain. The more value that NFT that you have will gain. So overall, it's just it's quite impressive. And he also talks about 0xBT was the block 789198, which was after the gods on-chain event, where basically this was deployed. This thing was deployed, and then we get hungry. We meet this guy with the pizzeria happen, and then yada 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 yada. Boom. That's basically what bitmap is. And right here, you can look for the blockchain. I wish I didn't delete it so we can look for the gods number. I'm just gonna guess. I don't even think that's it, but I'll load it up. You can find the actual block, and then right there within that block, you can see all the transactions. And like I said, let's imagine this was the block of the gods headquarters, and you can have all of the gods things going on in here. Fascinating stuff, right? So overall, that is basically what's happening with bitmaps and why it's going insane right now. People are starting to catch on. They're really believing that bitmaps is going to be the thing for Ordinals and Bitcoin, and it is increasing daily. It's been growing. Right now it's at 0.00249. So here you have everything, right? But if we get into more specifics, you can actually go down and you can see the inscription club. So you can see a sub 1K, sub 5K, and sub 10K. So sub 10K is like, the crypto punks. These are like the crypto punks right here, right? Where, the higher the number, the lower the value, but the lower the number, the better the value of the inscription. So if you go to sub 1K, I mean, already the lowest is 0.45. And this thing has been where has it started? So if we just, I don't know if I can, how low I can go, but it's 0.35, and then it went all the way to 0.45. I mean, these were nothing a long time ago, and it's just growing and growing. And people do believe that the sub 10K are gonna be probably worth more than one Bitcoin. We will see in how that plays out. It just depends on how many people actually believe in this thing. So if you see sub 10K here, the lowest is 0.014. And you can also see that most of these inscriptions are like crappy inscriptions. Like all of these are just like the worst inscriptions, but people are saying that these crap coins are like the crypto punks because these are the first inscriptions in Bitcoin. So it's quite funny. 0.01 Ordinal on this one. I don't, maybe whoever's selling this is probably quite wrong because this 0.06. Can you really buy this? Oh, it's pending right now. So that's why. So 0.06 is the lowest right now that you can buy a sub 10K. Dude, I'm thinking I'm buying one. I really want to be part of this club. Sub 10K. I think it's really cool. Right now, my exposure to Ordinals is ABCs, and they've grown a lot. I bought them when they were nothing. They're like right now like 0.015 Bitcoin right now. But yeah, that's what's going on in that world. All right, so we have right now Jupiter breaking ground. They're number 5 in the DeFi world. Top 10 dexes by 24-hour trading while. Why is this happening? Well, the reason why this is happening is because a lot of people are waiting for this Jupiter airdrop. This Jupiter airdrop is supposed to be one of the biggest things in Solana DeFi, and a lot of people have been transacting for like the past 2 or 3 years during the bear market. And this is something that, finally is coming in that I would probably, compare to Bonk. And because of that, now more people are trading because they want to be part of that airdrop. So we'll see how that plays out. All right. So in other news, we have the Degods and Mad Lads going at it. The Degods flipped Mad Lads. Mad Lads flipped the Degods. And right now, I think Mad Lads is still in the higher ranking of the Degods. And then we'll see where that goes. All right. So Cathie Wood basically said that Ether was fast and cheaper than Bitcoin, but she also said Solana is even faster and cost effective than Ether. So she is looking into Solana. She has been studying that blockchain, and she said a little hint on what she thinks about Solana on CNBC, which was quite fascinating to observe. And then we already discussed about the Mad Lads, the guys thing. All right, so why is Mad Lads increasing in value? So there's this thing called the PIF Network. Is this guy Ivanko, who's like the guy for Solana? He says one of my most fun side projects in engineering career was hacking and trading automations. I learned Haskell, Normal, Ruby, Python, but there was nothing we could ever have any success using Yahoo Finance. But he says PIF complete changes that. How valuable is real-time financial market data? Well, in 2022, it's worth 6.6 billion in average, 20% of revenue from 6 largest exchanges. Damn. So this guy says PIF makes exchange an intermediary. The trade shops contribute their trades directly to PIF. In theory, it could mean faster latency than waiting for the exchange to print. It will take a ton of work to get there, to filter out noise. This is actually really fascinating stuff. If PIF does become real, it's just going to be worth a lot of money if they get this right. You have Armani here saying communities are decentralized marketing engines. Wow, the amount of awareness created by Mad Lads for PIF Network is just amazing. And it looks like a lot of these Mad Lad holders are going to get PIF with them. So we will definitely see how that plays out for that group. And just one more note: looks like every single lad is super bullish. I know there's some lads who missed the BIF eligibility. We are one. We want PIF. PIF. All right. So there you go. I'm gonna remove this right here, and then all right. So, but Dogos, they have been booming as well. They've been going at it. A lot of people have been buying the Godos from Ethereum. It's, you have this whole content creation world with Pio, Nick, and Easy. They have been building this content machine. They started off on Ethereum. Now they have a Solana project called Bodogos, and it's basically, I would say, under Easy's movement. So he's heading the charge on Bodogos. They're all working on it. They're all supporting it. And when they're all supporting it, it means Ethereum is supporting this Solana project because you have a lot of Ethereum followers on Nick and Pio, and a lot of them have been buying Bodogos ever since. So you can just see here, different types of people buying it, and then going on to the next one. All right, so we could just basically, oh, you know what? One more thing. PIF is a vastly superior product chain link. They have exponentially more first-party data and distribute it exponentially more cheaply. It makes the data better and allows their partners to operate more cost-effectively. Chainlink FTMC is over 14 billion. PIF pre-market trading puts the fully diluted market cap around 3 billion. So they're already trying to compare the Chainlink. Interesting, but we'll see how that plays out. All right, so you probably already heard, but Solana got their inscription tool, basically. So this guy said, today we are launching inscriptions on Solana. Now anyone can put their NFTs on chain, just like Ordinals. Basically, inscriptions are Solana addresses that can contain images stored on chain. This is distinct from NFTs. Inscriptions are ranked by how early it is, just like Ordinals. So how do you inscribe? It'll tell you how to inscribe. And then it's just another step, I would say, in the right directions for NFTs and Solana, because they're ultimately on a web link. But here's the thing. Here's the controversy that Chartful Monkey basically said. Everyone knows I'm a Bitcoin inscriptions maxi, right? So he says inscriptions coming to Solana now, and I'm just having a hard time understanding the value. Solana inscriptions are mutable. That's not good. He says Solana inscriptions can be destroyed. That's not good. Solana inscriptions are extremely expensive, as storing data on Solana is expensive. Solana inscriptions have update authority. Solana inscriptions are inscribed on PDAs that are infinite. Also, they are on Solana. This really doesn't mean anything bad, but probably the number one value inscription on Bitcoin is the point of having them on Bitcoin itself, the most decentralized. I bet 90% of those that are inscribed now will be destroyed to recover the rent back, because DJs just want to flip something new. So he makes some good points here, because the whole point of inscription is basically for it to be inscribed, right? To be on the blockchain forever. This guy says this entire thread is mute point. Many of these points are false. This meant for, is it really? Why don't you write everything you know? If you look, he's trying to ask him, come back to me, debate me on why this is actually, valuable, right? So interesting take there on what's going on with Solana subscription. We'll see where that goes. So we have Elixir throwing out some news on their whole ovals collection. They are introducing a new phase to ovals. So I wonder what they're evolving to. And you have ovals right here, the NFT JPEG, and then yep, his eyes lit up. Oh my god. And one to create a character that we could bring to life, a character that's bold, and then evolved oval alongside refreshing art. Branding IP for ovals will be introducing many new integrations and protocols, advancements to cement ovals. So they're changing the art a little bit, and then maybe they might bring out some new product, but we don't know. All right, so let's get on some good news. All right, so what's going on with OpenAI? OpenAI, the board, basically fired these two dudes who basically created OpenAI. This girl named Ilya decided you know what? Since these guys aren't listening to me, I'm just gonna kick these guys out, and that's what happened. And Greg basically said, after he heard the news, he says that after today he quit because he just found out that his buddy was fired. Sam was let go. So you got Sam and Greg, who basically were Sam was kicked out, and Greg was basically he just basically quit after the board kicked them out. And OpenAI is the biggest innovating tech we have today. When this thing came out, artificial intelligence, companies were going nuts. You had Google, you had Google News. Is Google going to, get, destroyed? Is Microsoft going to lose? And then everyone just started creating these new ChatGPT products to compare to ChatGPT. So they disrupted the whole industry. And then people were waiting for the next product, and then somehow all this just collapsed. And this one guy writes, "This is literally the 9/11 for San Francisco." And that's his analogy. I don't think that's true, but um, there's a lot of things going on with this. A lot of drama. This guy says, "I love my time. It was awesome, but we'll move on." And then just in, you have today, OpenAI staff says they will quit if the entire board doesn't resign and reinstate Sam Altman as CEO. Jeez. That is insane. That's insane because you have the whole staff now saying to you board members, if all of you don't resign, we're going to quit, and you're going to have no one to basically, direct to build something because we're all gone. You fired the CEO, which you basically just ruined our whole company because of that decision, and we're gonna blame you for it. So it's insane how this is turning. Looks like Sam might come back now because the board is gonna resign. We're gonna find out how that plays out. This guy says, Raj, who is like another Solana creator, imagine if Steve Jobs had a Twitter account after he was fired. Can't believe this app is free. So if you remember, Steve Jobs was basically fired as well, kicked off the board. If there was Twitter at that time, oof, the stuff Steve Jobs will say on Twitter would have been insane. Would have loved it, but there was none of that. All right, so we're gonna skip this one here. We're gonna skip some Haze Lab news, and then even Mr. Beast talks about OpenAI. So, all right, BITMAP. We talked about that a little bit on what's going on there. We can skip OpenAI as well. Node monkeys. This is quite interesting. I don't know what these guys are doing, but this is like the biggest mint on Bitcoin owners right now. These guys says venture capitalists offered us $5 million for this project. We said no. Node monkeys will be free. So 10,000 node monkeys, which is a lot. And I don't know what they're doing, but we're about to find out. Phantom threw out some news. They're about to create a swap machine bridge between USDC on Ethereum and Solana, which is awesome. You don't have to take USDC into Coinbase, transact it to Solana, take it back to Phantom. It all could be done within the wallet, which is great. Hopefully this comes out soon. Not that big of a news, but it's big news, personally to me. All right, General.Sol has finally came back to Solana. General.Sol is basically one of the guys early in the Solana ecosystem who was growing his Twitter account a lot. He was getting to different projects back in the day. He was supporting the ecosystem. He built his own community. He built this thing called Soul Army, and Soul Army was a community of like 500 folks, and they were all over the Solana ecosystem. They were talking to projects on Twitter. They were creating spaces. They were creating other projects. They created a what do you call a Discord moderator training session for people to get into NFT projects. They were making jobs for them. And they kind of just went quiet for a while. I would say maybe like 8 months. But it seems like they are coming back with something interesting, which I don't know what's going to happen here because there's a little airdrop human right here. So we will find out on what General.Sol and the army are doing soon. But these guys I can tell you it's a really small community. It's a tight community, and when they throw something, they don't mess around, man. So we'll see what they're gonna do over there. Shout out to General Soul for keep doing what he's doing. All right, so we have Solport Tom throwing his own statement out there. Bada bing, bada boom. IDO launchpad released. Model signs up to new websites open. Another airdrop. So all these airdrops happening. Solport Tom, another builder in Solana, building tile Robux, building tile pilots, building GP. Oh man, this guy just doesn't stop. But he wasn't really out there during the NFT bull market last week because he was building and the market hasn't really seen what he's done, or they don't see the product yet. We don't know yet, but we'll find out soon enough once he puts all these pieces together and see where this whole thing comes out. And the IDO launchpad is like this. You have the SPL token, you have the vesting, you have customization, and you have pricing. So interesting stuff. See what Solport Tom's doing. All right. We talked about bitmaps and Bitcoin Ordinals. Now, this is kind of not similar, but it's a map within the game. It's the heist. You can get some land grabs on the game. So if you love playing games, if you're addicted to games, now you can buy your own land in this game where you can go play and do some crazy stuff on this little metaverse world. And a lot of people love this game. Good job on them making this game quite addicting for people to play with. Awesome stuff on them. All right, so we have an activist monkey. His name is Ponzi Enjoyer. This guy, I've been watching this guy from the sidelines. He's been buying monkeys left and right. And this is one interesting thing he said. He said, monkeys have to do nothing. Literally, make these monkeys immutable with zero royalties and remove all the execs. Then let the market do it. Dude, this guy just threw out a big punch. And then this guy says, oh, inscribe them. They don't know the tech behind this. So right now, one would call him the investor activist, right? He's buying monkeys. He's making his word. He wants the project to go a different direction. He thinks it's more valuable in that pathway. The monkeys have gone through so much crap. They went through some stuff with the first developers. Then they were bought out by HGE.Sol's team. Other monkeys didn't like that. Then those monkeys bought them out. They have an exec team of like 16 people. It dropped down to like 4 people, I think, now, with one CEO, which is Nam. Shout out to Nam and his team. And then now you have some more juicy drama. More juicy drama on the monkeys. I thought that was over for the monkeys with drama. I thought they were gonna do that. But now you have this guy. This guy. Some may call him Danos. Some may call him the Grand Savior. He may be the Jedi, or he may be the evil Darth Vader. Who knows? But he is now taking the stance. He is throwing his little hedge fund. I mean, he's a crypto punk, so he probably has billions of dollars. And in his whole life, all he wants to do is change a monkey direction. He wants to take these monkeys and take them into a pathway of maybe the crypto punk pathway. I mean, who knows? I have a monkey. I have no clue what's going on. I bought the monkey. Why? I have no clue. Well, to be honest, I bought, I liked it. It was during the bull market, and now I'm down my bags. But this guy, he's definitely changing some eyeballs. I could say that. So we'll see who this guy is. The Flaw. Even his name sounds like very like dark. So who is the Flaw? Let's find out. All right. So the Flaw, he's already let's see. Okay, here. The collection so far, I'm not done. So he's buying more. He's buying more of these monkeys. He sees something. Oh, so if you're a Gen 2 holder, there's 3 votes for you to check. So he looks like he's very into I guess he likes the exec, but he wants a different pathway. So we'll see how this is. Oh, proposal make SMB punks of Solana. Oh, yeah. So yeah, he's definitely changed some things up. I gotta go on Discord and I gotta look at this stuff. But yeah, anyways, that's basically what's going on Solana right now and Ordinals. And let's just look at the market right now. Let's look at the market. Okay, so we have the market here. A lot of things going on. We have Bud Delgo's going up. We have let's see, Subberkey has gone up as well. These guys basically create these whitelists, these giveaways type of SaaS product. And then Liberty Square has came out of nowhere as well. They started making the little comeback. That was quite interesting watching them. Netrunner, this one, for me personally, I bought them like at 0.25. I was like one of the first ones to buy them. Right, I literally, this is literally me right here. I bought them right around here, right before that, when this is like one soul, one soul volume. I bought them like right here, and I bought like 3 or 4 of them, and then all of a sudden, people just started buying them, and I have no clue why. The reason why I bought them, I just think there's something's gonna happen to where people are gonna need to do their taxes. So I started buying them around 0.20 because I do think these things are gonna go higher. Maybe 2 soul, maybe 2 soul. Last time during tax season, they went up all the way to Jesus. They went all the way up to like 9 soul. I didn't even wow. But it's almost tax season. I do think these guys are gonna be cooking around that time frame, getting some revenue. These degens are gonna be looking for some tax software. And Netrunner's the best one out of all of them. So we'll see how that plays out. Mad Lads, I went all the way up to 110. So that was insane. ABCs. This was quite insane to watch because ABCs are in ordinals. They gain momentum in here. I think you could still warp these things. I think that's why they went up, but I'm not sure. I got these things when these were like nothing, man. I remember like I had some bags here. I still got like 2 of them. They were like a 0.003, and now they're all the way up to 0.0114. And these things have just been moving. Where are they at right now? Just yeah, you can see right here. They were where's that? ABCs. Oh, I didn't show everything. But yeah, they were yeah, it's at 0.005, and then they went all the way back up, which was insane to observe. But yeah, overall, interesting stuff around there on ABCs. So we have also the Badogos. They went all the way up to 4 Solana. I bought these like at around 2.5, 2.6, I think it was. I don't have that much NFTs. I just started getting back into them, and I'm around. Oh, it's in my auto wallet, but I'm around. I think $6,000 in NFTs now. And at one point, I was around like 40 grand, 50 grand in NFTs, which sounds insane to probably many of you, but that was basically what I was doing. I was getting into NFTs a lot. I was buying a lot. I had the gods, I had Utes, I had monkeys, I had ABCs, I had Clanos, I had everything you could possibly think of. And what was the scariest thing was I had, and you probably can't see my ledger right here, but I could not access my ledger. My ledger was locked. I even emailed the ledger team. I was telling them, hey, I got so much money in my NFTs. I can't get into my ledger. I was so pissed because it was like 2 months I couldn't take anything out. And and I couldn't access it through Phantom, through the ledger software, nothing. It was, and I had the password and everything too. It was the craziest thing. I felt like I lost everything. I lost like 40K, 50K in NFTs, just like that, because it was so security tight, right? And some software glitch happened to where you couldn't take it out. So, and I emailed them, and they couldn't even help me. That was the crazy part. And I did everything I could to like fix this thing, and I gave up. And then after like 2 months, somehow, some way, the wallet was somehow connected. I don't know what it was. Like I did everything I could. It was the weirdest thing. When that happened, I sold everything. I sold everything I had at that moment, and I reduced my exposure in NFTs. And the crazy thing was like I was so scared about being hacked on a hot wallet, and I was never worried about having it stored in a cold wallet. and where in reality, I was actually, I got screwed in the cold wallet because the software glitches and everything. I couldn't access it, so I basically everything went to zero. So that was a crazy thing. So crazy enough, which I want to suggest no one to do is keep their stuff in hot. I keep everything in a hot wallet now because I'm like, I don't care if I get hacked. My thing is I can't have NFTs more than 10 grand. If it goes above 10 grand, then I have to sell some things because after that, like I put it in my actual other portfolio, like in stocks or whatever, real estate. But that's basically what's going on right now. I'm starting to get back in a little bit in NFTs. I'm throwing some gems in here and there as far as like Sol into NFT projects, and I'm just gonna trade with very small, try to trade my weight up, and then if I get to a certain point, 10,000, maybe 15,000, I'll sell some things and then start all over again. That's basically what I do. I don't go too heavy on this, but this is what's going on right now on the Reds. We got Magic ticket going down, and that's because of Tensor. Tensor has been taking the market. People are getting scared, but Magic has Bitcoin Ordinals, which is crazy, and a lot of people don't see that. So I personally bought one Magic ticket, but anyways, you have also Luna. That was a horrible one, but what else? Experiments. This one, experiments. I mean, Jersey, he's still doing his thing there. I mean, we'll see where that goes. But we got SMB Gen 3s, which is part of SMB Gen 2. And then we have Tyler Robotics down at 36 Solana. That's insane that they're down there. I do think these guys will be, hopefully pumping one day. I don't have any of them, but when I do trade my way up, I'm gonna hopefully buy one of these things one day. All these things right here, I'm not gonna touch. I'm not gonna buy. I'm just gonna watch them until they lose momentum, especially Mad Lads, and see where that goes. Also, one other thing I do want to share real quick. Here we go. BTC Degods. All right. So I'm gonna share one last thing. Hopefully I could find it right here. Okay, so let's see. The God sales. Where are the God sales at? Hopefully I can find the God sales. Nah, that's a shame. Let me see the God sales. No, the God sales. Here we go. All right, so here we go. All right, going back to the main screen. So as far as the gods, Bitcoin the gods number 7308 just sold for 0.44 BTC, 8.21 Ethereum, $16,000 for this dude, a zombie looking dude with a nice cut up shirt. It's worth $16,000. Whoever bought this basically said, you know what? I really like this dude. He's really good looking, and I'm gonna spend $16,000 on him. That's the NFT market, folks. And the person who got this sale, he received $16,000. Shout out to Machi. He's the one that got the money here for this thing. And you can see here, end of an era, Machi little bro. So it's basically a new day for this new the God holder. So bada bing, bada boom. That is all I have. All right. So, anyways, much love and peace.